With that, Fraser took out his cell phone and directly called Henry Wilson, the corporation's president. His tone was full of arrogance as he ordered Henry to meet him in the lobby on the first floor within 3 minutes. Fraser's actions made the manager, Robert Cole, and the 2 front desk staff freeze in shock. They looked at Fraser and how he was dressed and marveled at his audacity. One of the women began to snicker. Soon, the 3 of them started to laugh at Fraser. Robert was overjoyed at the foolishness of the young man.
You want to sell the boss 100 properties? I'll tell you what. If you successfully sell Mr. Wilson your properties, I'll kneel down and lick your shoes in front of everyone.
As soon as he said that, a team of security guards rushed in. Robert was in no mood to waste any more words on Fraser. He impatiently waved his hand.
Take him away. Not you again,
one of the guards cried as he recognized Fraser.
You may have gotten away from us last time, but you won't escape so easily this time.
Both guards advanced on Fraser as they pulled out their nightsticks to give him a beating. He stood and watched them step closer, a somber expression on his face. One of the security guards took a swing at him, but Fraser dodged it. The nightstick swung by him and smashed onto a glass-topped coffee table. The glass shattered.
All of you stop,
shouted a stern voice from nearby. The security guards froze, as did everyone else.
Mr. Wilson, cried Robert in surprise. What are you doing here? Can I help you with anything?
All eyes turned to the front desk, where Henry Wilson was standing, watching the unprofessional scene unfolding before him with disdain. Robert turned to give Fraser a stern look as he asked,
Why are you still standing there, Fraser? Get lost!
Henry's eyes widened in shock when he heard Fraser's name, and he stared at the young man before him.
It's him,
he thought in wonder.
It's really him. Get lost,
Henry snapped.
You're the ones who should get lost, you fools.
He looked around at Robert and the others, his expression livid.
You're a bunch of idiots. Do you know who he is?
Henry was dumbstruck. Fraser jumped in to interrupt. He didn't want too many people to know his identity just yet. Mr. Wilson, I presume. I hope that you're available tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock to personally come to the sales department of the Philly Group to purchase 100 properties. Robert stared in shock. Had Fraser really asked his boss to purchase so many properties? He found himself even more startled a few moments later when Mr. Wilson spoke.
No problem, Mr. McElmore. I'll make sure to be there on time.
The onlookers gasped and murmured to one another. Fraser turned his gaze on the stunned manager. Well now, Mr. Cole, I'm an honorable man. I don't think there's any need for you to kneel down and lick my shoes. Your mouth is too dirty and smelly anyway. He glanced at his watch and saw that it was almost 6. He mumbled something incoherent about cooking dinner and hurried out. Henry watched in consternation as the young man left. Was he actually saying something about having to cook dinner? He mused. Why would someone of his power need to go home and cook something? He started to call out to the young man questioningly, but saw that he had already sped away.
Mr. Wilson, are you sure about all this? Came a voice from beside him. That man, Fraser, is just not trustworthy. Maybe it's a mistake.
Henry turned his cold glare on Robert.
I think you're the one who has made a mistake. Head to accounting and collect your last paycheck. You will not be coming back tomorrow. That's all.
After saying that, Henry left without looking back. Robert watched the president of the company walk away from him.
He just fired me,
Robert thought in a sulking state. His face paled as he looked around at the 2 women at the desk. They stared back at him. One of them quickly tore down the blacklist. The remaining fear in their hearts had yet to disappear. Both women were thinking the same thing. Who exactly is that guy? Fraser? The moment Fraser entered the house, Natalia's family was on his case. Do you see what time it is? Are you deliberately making your family starve? Asked James, Natalia's older brother and Fraser's brother-in-law. Dorothy, Natalia's mother, who was busy in the kitchen, stuck her head out and said, You're worthless. Do you think you're too good to cook for us anymore? Are you too good for this family? Mom, I went out to do something for work. You what? Natalia cried, walking in through the door right behind him. It seemed like she had been crying. Are you okay? He asked. What? She snapped. Before he could say anything, she stormed off to the bedroom and slammed the door. Fraser quickly finished preparing the meal before going and checking on her. He knocked and then pushed the door open. However, he found that Natalia had her head down as she was going through her stocking drawer. Recalling Moses' words from earlier that day, Fraser was instantly angered. Natalia, he shouted. What are you trying to do? Are you really going to humiliate me by accepting Moses' invitation? If you want to treat me like a good-for-nothing loser, fine, but don't do it at your own expense and reputation. Are you really going to betray our relationship?